So, hello everybody. Hello again. Forgive me for not shaving. I'm growing out the Christmas beard. So anyways, just kind of tag along that last video that I put out about the guy upset because I don't belong to his group. There was someone else that wrote another thing on Ian Bick's video about this guy was never a skinhead or something like that. Like there's some type of like membership card that you get when you go down to your local skinhead organization, and they're going to fill out and they're going to say on such and such date we indoctrinated such and such into our prestigious organization. You know, the way things don't go for $1,000. You know, there's this Detective Valdemar that's famous on YouTube, and he's from Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And he says that you're not a gang member unless they validate you as a gang member, and there's certain criteria that they use to do that. And I've got them pulled up right here on my other phone. Key criteria for being validated a gang member by the head of the gang department for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Mr. Valdemar. Or Valdez, I forget it. I'm not being disrespectful on purpose. I legit don't have it in the top of my head. Self-admission. The individual admits to being a member of a specific gang. 2. Arrest or conviction. The individual is arrested for offenses consistent with gang activity, which attempted murder in the case of NLR and other stuff would definitely be. I'm going to pause this. You'll have to forgive me, I'm getting this sandwich at Jimmy John's. And the lady maybe that's helping me is not the most studied person. Maybe. But that doesn't mean she's any less of a human being. But I've read a lot of things. Let's get back into reading this. Arrest and conviction, that's number 2. Association with known gang members. I've got that in my corner. Having been arrested for attempted murder, I got that in my corner. Self-admission. I'm sitting here saying I know these guys and hang out with them. I've got that. Gang-related attire. Individual wears specific clothing, colors, or paraphernalia linked to a gang. That I don't really have. One sec. She's bringing my sandwich. I'm going to sit here for a second. I'm going to finish the rest of this. Gang symbols or tattoos. The individual displays tattoos, marks, scars, or brandings that indicate gang membership, or uses specific hand signs or symbols. I'm pretty sure that I got great big old SS lightning bolts that I've been getting lasered off my back arms forever. Inclusive of another tattoo that was on my chest is covered up by my extensive chest tattoos that I've got all over. Not to mention other stuff. Ah, man, I got to pause this again. Sorry about that, my wife, man. So getting back to the last part of this, frequenting gang areas. The individual is seen at one or more locations known as gang hotspots. With white supremacist gangs, it's not the same type of thing, because typically what will happen in Latino gangs or maybe even Asian gangs or black gangs is they all live in the same neighborhood. Us whites, we don't roll that way. We don't live in the same neighborhood. So as a result, we frequent certain places together. It's how that goes, and party together, hang out together. And that's absolutely the way it goes. In fact, I'm glad that came up, because someone had asked me, Johnny Mitchell had asked me about that. When you're young, you have to get to these places where other people are at. You'll see them at school. You'll go to parties and whatnot. That's how that works. Reliable informants. An individual is identified as a gang member by a reliable informant or source. Correspondence. The person's correspondence contains gang references. And now, important considerations. Multiple criteria are needed. Generally, at least 2 criteria must be met for an individual to be validated as a gang member. And then there's the totality of his circumstances, not based on race, lower bar of the conviction. This is what the state of California uses to determine all that. So let's see what your boy Dave's got. Self-admission. I'm sitting here telling you right now I was hanging out with these people. Arrest or conviction. Association with known. Gang symbols or tattoos. Frequenting So I've got like 5 right there, which is more than double. And bear in mind, I've been out of this for a long time and have never technically been a gang member because I didn't go to state prison, man. That's why. If it wasn't for that, I definitely would have been in there. Getting back to the Jimmy Johns lady not being very well read, and I can't judge a book by a cover. Maybe she's extremely well read, but I was looking at her and she's working there. You know, I'm thinking about all the things that I've read in my lifetime, and I've got a whole bunch of homework assignments due by Wednesday. But I was thinking of the Tao Te Ching, which is Eastern philosophy, and I was thinking about why, when you're involved with a lot of violence and stuff like that, people deleting or self-deleting isn't that big of a deal because you just start looking at life a certain way. And the Tao Te Ching is really kind of a fatalist type of mindset or philosophy because nothing really matters, man. And even Christianity could be, because if you get in your head that, you know, you can be forgiven for everything and just have everything be okay, you know, that's kind of short-sighted too. Because Jesus is just going to forgive everybody anyways. The Bible wasn't even put together when Jesus was alive. It was put together as a result of politicians and people that were voting on things centuries after Jesus had happened. So I like to start thinking about things the way that my heart makes me feel about it. And I think that we intuitively know what we should or shouldn't be doing. I'm doing what I think is the right thing to do, speaking up about my life and what's gone on in it, and I'm not making any money, and I'm doing it because I want people to have a more informed opinion on what's going on. I could name drop certain people, and I'm not going to, because I don't need to prove myself to somebody from the mean streets of St. Paul, Minnesota, or Crown Hill in Seattle, or whatever, man. I don't need to do it, because I know that what I'm saying is true, and other people do too. And if a few people fall by the wayside, that's fine. I'm doing what I'm doing because telling the truth is the right thing to do, and getting people to understand people on both sides of the border is important. I talked to one of my brothers from my platoon today. Actually, there's 3 of us now that are going to be doing videos together to help bring to you the real life of what goes on in Mexico, and also current affairs, because people like Katerina Schultz, Vincent Vargas, Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, and everybody else don't really know because they weren't there. I was, and so were my brothers. And that's it. So that's kind of what I've got coming down the pipe. Working on that. We'll probably shoot a video on Thursday, and we'll see what's up. We'll see how that goes. You know, there's some software we're going to use, $69 for the entire year. And I'm finally putting this thing together as to how we're going to do this. Forgive the unkempt appearance. I am growing out a beard. Well, I was thinking about, you know what? Nah, I'll probably shave this stuff off when I get home. I just got done working out. So I'm in my little beater flannel thing. And cheers, man. God bless. God bless all of us.